Guys, Artosis here with CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is from Group C, and it's Game 2 between Snow and Rush. If you haven't seen Game 1 yet, won't spoil it. Go check it out right now. Alright, now that those people have left, Snow was able to take down Rush in that first game on Shakura's Temple. It was a really, really nice game. Snow kind of controlled where Rush was able to attack and kept him at bay through counterattacks, Zealot bombs, and late game Reaver harassment, which is not something you normally see. He really kind of showed his unbelievable skill in the matchup. That being said, I think that Rush played really, really well. He got a bit behind in the early game, but followed it up with a strong 6 factory kind of semi-push while going 2-1 and third base slowly and then a fourth base quickly thereafter. It was really a great game to see. Very much both players having to freestyle quite a bit, throwing some odd things at each other, but having such sound fundamentals that those odd things really ended up working out. So I'm excited to see Game 2 and what happens here. The map is Polypoid. It's a bit more standard, a bit more paid than Shakura's Temple. But both are really kind of macro maps. I think Polypoid a little bit more macro-esque. And in fact, you can see that from Snow. It looks like he's going to be going for a Nexus first here. We don't have any gateway or anything like that. Rush, on the other hand, looks like he will be going for a gasless expand, right? So a command center on about 15 supply. He's sending his SCV out, and it looks like he's actually going to the right first. So he's going to be able to scout that it's Nexus first opener. And his barracks is very forward, so like I guess there's some chance he can rush it, but I think it's a little bit risky as well. I think it's probably better for him to just go for an expansion. Now Snow trying to harass this SCV. He does not want that SCV bugging him since he's going for the Nexus first. Put some good damage on. And Rush scouts what's going on. Let's see what he chooses to do here. I think it is just going to be that command center, though. Starts a Marine. And, yep, there is the command. He might send the first Marine out, or maybe it's going to have to defend this probe that's coming up. Either way, you know, I think that this is actually... the opener is a little bit better for Snow, but it's a very comfortable situation, I guess is what I would call it, for Rush. Because basically he knows that Snow just doesn't have any units. So like he doesn't need to make a lot of Marines early on. He doesn't need to make a bunker early on or anything like that. He can be a little bit extra greedy. Now he is going up to pressure, but the probe actually slowed down the command center a little bit there. You see that Rush looks a little bit disjointed at the moment. He's actually going up the ramp with the SCV and the Marine. I'm not really sure about these calls. I guess if your opponent doesn't make a Zealot, that works out really well. But yeah, he doesn't really get very much done there. The probe has actually done some reasonable harassment, and now he actually needs to get his bunker up. So I think that Rush had some good ideas with this, but he may have benefited from just sitting back and, you know, playing normally, like keeping the first Marine to keep the probe off of his SCVs. He could have mined a little bit more, felt a little bit stronger in this position. As of right now, the Zealot coming up, I mean, there's 4 Marines in an SCV, so the Zealot can't do anything against that, really. It could run up and maybe do some damage, but Rush is going to be fine. Immediately starts to attack, and yeah, he gets one hit off and turns around and runs away. Now, this scouting SCV, staying alive for a bit. The probe's really trying to chase it down. They don't want to see what is coming up next. Of course, we don't know that yet either. Couple Zealots walking up. Oh, wow. Look at the amount of Marines that he's actually making. That's kind of interesting. 2 Zealots coming, so he might be thinking about trying to do like a run by or something like that. Yeah, look at that. And looks like he's going to send some SCVs. Oh, that was amazing. I can't even believe he got those 2 SCVs between the Zealots and the Marines. That is incredibly hard to do, to wiggle those SCVs into that position. But he kills the Zealots. I actually have chills right now. Watching something like that causes chills if you're a Terran player, because that was amazing. If you don't get the SCVs there, the Zealots will actually massacre your Marines. they'll start to hit him, and then you have to run, and you're barely in front of him. Then you have to pull your SCVs here and drill and try to stop the 2 zealots. So that was something that was like high risk, high reward for Snow, and required a lot of good micro from Rush to hold. But he slaughters it, right? He loses his 2 SCVs and 1 Marine, but kills both zealots, and that is a great trade for him right now. Snow has very little going on. In fact, you can see losing those 2 zealots, he's gone up to 4 gateways. He's going into Robo as well. So he really wants to get his production going. Now, over on Rush's side, Armory coming up, Starport already ready, getting a siege tank out to help push back Dragoons, and going speed very quickly for his vultures. So he's going to be going for a quick vulture drop. That's very cool to see. Actually coming out and pushing back these Dragoons a little bit. Kind of a good move before they have that range upgrade. But he might end up losing. No, I guess not, actually, with the 3 Marines still there and no damage on the tank. It's not like Snow can do too much. But yeah, really pushing him back really strong. If you just sit behind your bunker, then they can build a Dragoon count and start harassing it. And since he went speed and not siege, that can get really annoying for him to deal with. So that was actually a very preemptive move because he's going vulture drop. Just brilliant play, I tell you. Watching pro gamers go at it, it's a beautiful sight to behold. Now, the vulture drop is going to be coming. A couple vultures back into siege tanks. Another factory on the way. There's a pylon here, which both slows us down but scouts drops. And this is maybe the most crucial thing that is going to happen in this game. Look at this. It sees the dropship going across. Dragoons instantly sent up into the main base. And in fact, he sees that and knows that there's no point. And look at this. The observer even seeing that he let the vultures out elsewhere. A tiny hole here. Is he going to get there in time? No, not quite. They do get in. So he's going to get a few kills here at least. 3 probes go down. 4 probes go down. Looks like he'll get a 5th. Oh, no. It did get that little 1 point of healing. So, still, 4 probes for those 2 vultures is okay. Scouts in with the dropship, sees the goons still in position. Snow a little bit unsure whether there's still a vulture in there or not. But you know what? Overall, great from both sides. Now, Snow has his 3rd Nexus going up. Let's take a look at the probe count, 49 to 46, so pretty good on both sides. Academy coming up, the 3rd factory as well. You know, generally when you go for a quick dropship play, you are going to need to go to at least 3 factories to be able to expand because all of your units are slowed down and you've spent some harassing. I don't know if he's going to make a command center, though, off of the 3 factories. He might add some more and play a bit more like he did in Game 1 on Shakura's Temple. Get a few more units out, make sure that he's going to be okay. But with Snow already having his 3rd Nexus up, getting into that probe production, he's going to hit his beautiful probe count of, you know, between 60 and 70 pretty quickly here and really get his macro going, as you can see. Adding a couple more gateways right now. He's starting mass shuttle production. We don't see a robotic support bay as of yet. Forge is going down. The Citadel is going down. But yeah, we don't see anything for that shuttle speed. Just the slow shuttles at the moment. We'll see if he changes that up at all. Or maybe you rush to Arbiter or something. But here we go. Another vulture drop coming by for Rush. Going to be pushed out pretty easily. Snow coming down, trying to catch that dropship. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. Oh, even this is actually a very nice move to be able to get in here and stop this probe from making that 4th Nexus that we now know that Snow wants in that area. Even just seeing that he has a probe down there tells Rush a lot about what Snow's plan is. Snow's plan isn't like, for instance, to just mass up and try to bust him or something. And he's clearly thinking about taking a 4th base. So that's something that now Rush can look for, maybe run vultures around, slow him down a bit. He is trying to get some harassment done, but you can see how strong the defense is of Snow, right? He's throwing down some cannons to make sure that he is basically steady against these drops. You can't be everywhere. See, he's trying to come in with a couple vultures, but a cannon already there. It's like just puts a timer on it. Look, 2 probes, maybe a 3rd. No, just 2 probes there for 2 vultures. So a really great trade there for Snow. But yeah, he's got some great vision here. This probe is certainly supposed to be on the high ground. It's got, you know, the pylon here that caught the drop earlier. couple dropships just waiting, or shuttles rather, and a bunch of Dragoons. So he's getting ready to try to bust a third base attempt. And he's hidden the shuttles purposefully. He doesn't want him to see the shuttles, because if you see 2 shuttles waiting like this, you play this a lot differently. You'll make extra turrets. You'll leave some siege tanks unsieged. Maybe leave your vultures in front. But he is getting ready for a massive attack as this comes out. And you can see that Rush has actually gone for a lot of factories before landing his third base. And he just has to. There's not really much of a choice. Look at the supply differential. There's like 50 more army supply. But again, the army is not really a bust army. It's a hurt you when you take your third base army, if that makes sense. It's not like while you can get a lot of damage done and maybe get to the place where you might be able to end the game a little bit later, it's not the full on out attack. It's more about a punishment of the move out. All right, let's see here. He's coming in with the double shuttle. The turret not yet ready, getting in there just as the turret finishes. He does have some Goliaths in here as well to help pick that off. So many Dragoons coming in. He better lift this off. He's going to lose his command center possibly. All the siege tanks in the front got picked off, and now Snow pulls back. He knows he can't kill the army, but the command center might be something he can get. The SCV's repairing frantically here. He is losing a decent amount of them, though, and you can see he's targeting down some of these SCVs, but the tanks move up and push him back. So a good save there from Rush, and you can see that Snow tried very hard to capitalize on the situation. He dropped right before the turret finished, so he got maximum damage from the shuttles, and then backed up after the front row of siege tanks was killed to try to pick off the third base, which works more often than you'd imagine. But Rush does end up saving that. He is down 10 workers right now. Also down a base as Snow takes his own 4th. Trying to harass some and actually doing a great job of it. Picking off quite a few probes here. Finally getting some damage done here for Rush. His economy looking really strong as well. He's actually adding a few more SCVs, so going pretty high economy. Gets his +2 all done, so he's at 2 on upgrades. Very crucial upgrades there for Terran. +1 going to be finishing for Snow relatively soon. And Snow now with High Templars as well. Looks like he's getting Kadarin Amulet. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of Psystorm drops coming up. But Rush's position, this is not something you really want to attack into. Look, he's adding the depot. He's got a great siege here, but he might attack to try to get some Psystorms off. If you get some good storms in here, then that's worth losing a little chunk of your army, I would say. Now let's see, maybe drop a Zealot on some of these. He brings up the Observer. Yeah, and Rush is trying to target down the Observer. He's not going to quite get that one. But if you can get that Observer and the mines are here, it's like, it's very hard to stop. Now, actually, the Vulture's coming over and punishing some of these High Templars that were left out. Great move from Rush. These are the type of moves that really help him out in Terran vs. Protoss. Always looking for ways in with his Vultures. It kind of reminds me of the way Sharp plays, but I feel like he backs it up with some really solid macro builds as well. So Rush looking pretty strong. He hasn't been broken at all as of yet. Making that 4th command center. Let's see, yeah, he has his 3-2 upgrades going, which is huge. Snow expanding down here. Remember when we saw the double Vulture drop here? He's laid some mines. No nexus in that area, and that's the thing you're most scared of as Terran, is Protoss taking other main bases that they can put gateways into. So he's prevented that for a long time, which is fantastic. Snow just now getting onto that additional base, and we don't see a Stargate yet, which is an important thing to point out, right? That's kind of the thing you're looking for now as Rush. Like, when are the Arbiters going to join the battle? Continuing this Vulture harassment, picking off so many. He drops Snow from mid-60s down to 49 probes right now. Not the end of the world, of course. He has 5 nexuses, so he can reproduce his probe population to whatever he wants relatively quickly. But good trades for Rush. He wants to be trading out Vultures, doing damage whenever and wherever he can right now. That allows him to build his army stronger and longer. He's not likely to attack until he has 3-2 upgrades. So the more siege tanks he can fit in, the more he can trade Vultures for time and bits of damage to get those siege tanks, the better. All right, starting to push out. Gonna get some turrets down here while he floats up to that 4th base location. Rush looking so solid here. This is such an unbreakable spot. You don't want to attack in there. He's going to make the same here and hopefully right here as well. And so that's going to make it so it's like, well, I guess you could fly shuttles into his main base, but this, like, speed is not done yet. This is very, very late shuttle speed coming out of Snow this game, since he didn't open up with those Reavers. Now, Snow going to try to break this. I don't know about this move. All right, does get out a High Templar. That was a great Psy Storm going down. So there's a shuttle up here that did eat some of the storm, but you can see how cost inefficient it can be to run up a ramp against a Siege Terran there. Snow pulling back with his army. And now expanding to the bottom left. This is a cool play in a lot of ways. This is going to be a base that's a little bit hard to attack. It's like so far away from everything else. And he's making the gateways probably to make High Templars and Dark Templars out of to try to hold that base and just make it annoying for Rush. If you hold this long term against Terran, that position, the game becomes very difficult for Terran to win. They expect you to have this base eventually, but this is one that they kind of need to keep you off of. And now that Snow has taken so many bases, once he has this one up and running, this one becomes free because you can't attack it. There's so much in your way. So that's kind of a... I like the way that Snow has decided to take that. It's kind of a sneaky move and a strong move as well. All right. These guys really hitting their stride as far as macro goes. Let's check the tech. Over on Snow's side, just continuing to transfer his probes around, balance out his bases as best he can. Has his solid probe count up at 65. Looks like he's making that maybe 66th probe right now. Has a pretty strong army overall. Only +1. He does have +2 on the way. Vulture's continuing to run by. And again, this is a great play. Like, if you have 4 bases, you definitely want to make moves like this. This is not a timing attack-oriented game from Rush. This is a game where you are building like an ultimate army. He's got 3-2 upgrades. Science vessels are out. And he just wants to use his vultures as best he can. And in fact, this game is starting to look like one where he's even going to have to take a 5th base. I feel like as he maxes out, he's going to want to make another command center to try to expand to this location. And we're going to have to see an extremely strong push out of him. Ending Snow here is going to be very difficult, especially if he continues to add more gateways. Now let's see here. The siege tank count getting really quite ridiculous. Let's try to get a little bit of a count here. So there's 12, 4 more. That's 24, 26. There's 30 tanks. 33 2 tanks out right now, which is amazing. It is so strong, but you have to be careful with this. If they get Zealot bombs on your tanks, you're in trouble. If they get Psy Storms on group tanks, that's going to be terrible. So you have to be very careful with how you push with this. But there is not even a question in the world. The Terran army is stronger than the Protoss army here. It just comes about the engagements. Can Rush get the engagements he's looking for with this? Or will Snow be able to punish him with splash damage? All right, let's see here. Snow getting ready, getting into position. There's a lot of mines underneath these tanks, so things could go wrong. Good siege, or good storms. Oh my God, these storms are absolutely crazy. Oh, he just wrecked a lot of tanks right there. Very well done. And that is what this style needs to do. This High Templar drop style, you are whittling down your opponent's army. We just saw that big time, taking down a lot of siege tanks, causing a lot of damage. Of course, the army of Rush is still stronger. He's pushing forward. It's scary, but more Psy Storms going down, continuing to deal damage to these tanks, picking off 3 more. And another storm goes down. Oh my God, the amount of damage coming out of these High Templars is massive. But Rush continues to push forward. He's getting on top of this mineral base. A big line of Zealots coming out. Uh-oh, he actually doesn't have a lot of vultures here to help deal with that. And another storm! These storms on the tanks are absolutely madness. So much damage. There's so many red tanks. Oh my God. Okay, well, he just killed all the tanks in that attack. Let's count now. 6, 7. Okay, so Rush just went from 30 tanks to 7 in the matter of a couple minutes. And that's what I was talking about. It's all about the splash damage from Protoss at that point. Can they get you with their AoE? Are you clumping your tanks too much? Are the Zealots getting on top of them? And the answer to all those questions are yes. Snow deals with it beautifully. And this becomes a much harder game now for Rush. I think Rush has to keep pressure on, but that's difficult because Snow is taking a lot of the map. Look at this. He's adding gateways down here. He's putting the cannons down to make harassment more difficult. There's still going to be some harassment here, right? It's still going to do all right, but over on this side, we have a lot of gateways as well. So now it's hard for Rush to, like, cut off production for Snow. Snow can make army all around the map. So even if he gets to push this base down and contain this area that has most of the gates, bits of army are going to be coming out absolutely everywhere. So it's a tough game right now for Rush. But he still has amazing upgrades. He is taking this base finally. Has that 5th command center up. And I mean, if he sends a few tanks here, maybe makes a few turrets. Oh my god, that mine! No! How many vultures was that? Just crazy. Now he does have to lift this up, unfortunately. Already had the SCV sent. He has a reasonably strong push that he was over here with, but kind of hemming and hawing. I guess he's decided he needs to come over here and actually secure the space, which I think he is correct on. If he doesn't get the 5th base up, he's just going to run dry. His main and natural already out. His 3rd base getting very low. The 4th base is still really, really healthy, but you can't go down to 1 mining base. You really need at least 2 the entire time. All right, a big flank of units here. Storm's going down on those clumped siege tanks as well. Look at Snow, just from every angle, tearing apart this army. Just an utterly impressive Protoss player. There's just no question. He is one of the best Protoss vs. Terran players ever here. I mean, just the fact that Rush was able to get the army he did, and then Snow has whittled it down and is now flanking it from every single direction while taking the entire map. A tough, tough game for our Terran Pro. Now he's trying to do whatever he can here. He's still macroing very, very well, but yeah, he GG's. That's it. Snow wins 2-0.